welcome to our latest episode of the New Homes podcast. With COP26 in full force and the constant news around energy prices on the rise, we want to get some expert opinions on the future of our homes and net zero carbon. Here with me today is Julia Green, our Head of Sustainability, and Jonathan Moss, our Head of Technical. Hi guys.
Hello. Hi.
Hi Sonal.
Thank you for joining me today. So Julia, let's start off with you. Can you tell me a little bit more about what attracted you to Redrow and your passion for sustainability?
Yeah, so I joined the business about 9 months ago, but I've been in this sector for about 20 years now.
Yeah.
And always in sustainability related roles. And I think the opportunity at Redrow came along and, we've seen a huge amount of change in policy and regulation and attention on environmental issues in the last couple of years. And Redrow are keen to continuously progress their approach. And so I felt it would be a really good fit.
Nice. And John, tell me a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I work at the group function, which is head office really to most people. I've been with Redrow for 20 years now.
Wow.
So
a long time.
Proper time served.
Yeah.
The role I have is we look after the departments. We look after the standard product, which would be producing all the drawings and specifications. We work closely with our commercial team for compliance with building regulations.
Nice. Okay. So should we start off with what is sustainability?
Okay, good question. There's a lot of different answers to this one, but I think if I was to say what sustainability means in terms of Redrow, really it's about what we're building and where we're building it and how we're building it. There are three main themes that come in, which is our environmental performance and what impact we're having on the wider environment. What impact we're having on wider society and local communities. And certainly governance comes into that. So you might have heard the term ESG talked about quite a lot. So that's environmental social governance.
Okay.
And certainly for Redrow, placemaking and the quality of the communities that we build is part of our overall sustainability offering.
So net zero carbon, what is it?
Yeah, it's probably got a bit of an unfortunate name to it because it sounds, quite technical. But
yeah.
net zero carbon is essentially about using less carbon than you put out into the atmosphere. So it's maintaining that net balance of emissions.
Perfect. Okay. So how are our homes built with sustainability in mind?
Well, that's a good question. It depends what you're comparing it with. If you're comparing it with the existing stock, then they are quite incredibly more sustainable than an existing product. Because not only the building regulations, carbon reduction, and so within our homes we not only comply with the regulations, we also exceed it. So that would be in use. So that it's not talking about people having televisions plugged in. It's more the regulated energy, so it would be your heating, your hot water, that kind of thing. And it goes beyond that, where the materials that we use from our supply chain, we all work very closely with our supply chain, and they themselves have come on a long way.
So what comes first, aesthetics or practicality?
Yeah, I believe aesthetics. But then with practicality too, because I think if you look at a Redrow home, you'll look from outside and it has great curb appeal, arts and crafts style, with a lot of detailing in there and intricacies, ups and downs on the street scene and materials used that are very traditional. People can connect with them.
Redrow is very proud of its design ethos and the arts and crafts style because, and we know that that's what our customers really want. And we want to be able to maintain that look and feel of our homes whilst increasing the energy efficiency and other aspects. So, we kind of look down a fabric first approach. So within the building and within the walls, so within the cavities is how can we get as much of the energy efficiency hidden behind the walls? That means that it just does its job seamlessly for the customer. They don't have to operate it. They don't have to maintain it. It's there forevermore.
So I know a lot of our customers love open plan living, but how does it work from a heating point of view?
Well, there's no real difference. I think the point of difference between Redrow and others, and even existing stock, is the size of or the amount of glazing we have, the daylighting. So that again has its challenges because on the one hand you have lovely daylighting and health and well-being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is always in our mind, but then on on the counter that, you also have heat loss because it's not as well insulated as a wall, if you like. So again, technology moves on so well. We have coatings on glass to prevent solar gain. But the heating side of it, we have controls. So we have zonal heating as well. So you can have a different temperature in your bedrooms than you can in a living space, because you wouldn't really want to have your home heated to the same temperature all the time because you have different activities. So your bedrooms would only maybe need 18 degrees to have a design temperature, which is the CIBSE guide, whereas living space is more 20, 21.
Yeah, and I think also another thing that we focus on is where the materials are coming from and what kind of materials we're buying. So timber is a really good example of that. And for the last, long before, way before I joined the business, they made a commitment, were members of the World Wildlife Fund's Forest Trade Network about purchasing sustainable timber. And I think of a lot of construction materials, because clearly we use a lot, there's a lot of things that go into building a home, but timber is somewhere between 97 and 99% of the timber we procure directly is sustainably sourced. And that's not just us saying it's sustainably sourced. There's something called a chain of custody. So when a piece of timber is felled in a forest, in wherever that might be in the world, it has a certain marker on it, so you can see where it went all along its journey, and you make sure that we are therefore purchasing the timber that's been sustainably grown and managed and produced.
So John, from a practicality point of view and money in your pocket, what is the difference between a new Redrow home and an older property?
Yeah, that is a tricky one to answer because they're all so different. But there has been work done a few years back with the Zero Carbon Hub where they compared a 3-bedroom mid-terrace unit, like a Victorian property, with a new home, and there was some in the region about £600 saving in the running costs, and a larger property, say a 4-bedroom home, detached, then that would be somewhere near about £1,300. So that is a caveat. It does depend how people live and whether you love the heat in your home, but there is money definitely to be saved with a new Redrow home.
Tell me what we're doing beyond the home.
So when we look at designing a site at the site level, we're looking at how to incorporate nice green areas, open spaces for our customers to enjoy. What kind of landscaping are we incorporating? Also we look at the species of trees that we select and ensure they're indigenous species, and we're moving more towards that now with specifying things that enable local wildlife, habitat or food source. I think also with the increase in rainfall that's predicted, we incorporate something known as SUDS, so it's Sustainable Urban Drainage Systems, and this is about how do we deal with rainfall. So to minimise the drainage system that Thames Water or whoever else own being overloaded with water, we incorporate these dry basins. So they're like a pond. They're deliberately dry at certain times of year so that they can cope with the additional rainfall, and then that is dealt with naturally by soaking away into the soil. That for us is such a huge benefit because it's part of our overall landscaping approach. It's a soft green approach. They call it a nature-based solution. And also, when there is water in there, it provides habitat for local wildlife. It provides a feature for local residents and communities to enjoy.
So I know we've already touched on net zero carbon, but what are we doing as Redrow to meet those targets?
The big push that you've probably seen on the news more recently, just saying about
Energy prices and COP26.
That heat pumps, it's the thing now that a lot of people are talking about. And there's a regulation coming in now. The building regulations are changing to the conservation of fuel and power. So we're driving that down. So to put that into perspective, we had a 6% reduction in carbon about 8 or 9 years ago within the building regulations. And now this year, we're looking at making a 32% reduction in carbon in the running of a home. Okay. And then come 2025, that will be 75% from current regulations. So it's really gathering pace, this. And so, you know, only another few years we'll have homes that we're building and selling to customers that have 75% less carbon in the running of them from standing where we are today. And it's a way ahead of the existing market, the introduction of, well, no gas boilers, for instance.
What happens when gas boilers do eventually get banned?
When that announcement was made about banning gas boilers, you know, I think probably everybody took a breath, because that is a major change for all of us. You know, everyone who buying a home, everyone who owns a home, to think that, you know, gas boilers will be no more. You know, but we've had time to prepare for that, and you know, between John's team and my team, we're doing a number of trials under our within our product innovation program. So working with some of our key supply chain partners, looking at alternative technologies. John's mentioned the air source heat pumps. We've got another one which is sort of described as a smart home energy system. So that could be, you know, the future replacement to a gas boiler.
Yeah.
The trials we're doing, because we don't want our customers really to end up as guinea pigs, if you like, you know, as and when we can't use gas boilers anymore. We want to really understand, well, what's it like to live with this technology? You know, how easy is it to operate? How easy is it to maintain? Is there a noise impact? You know, how does it perform? What are its running costs? All of these things are crucial for us to understand,
really important.
so that we can make sure that whatever we design and put in place is going to be, well, I guess not just meet the needs of our customers, but is going to be welcomed by them.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much to our guests for joining me. Visit the inspiration section of our website to find out how you can be more sustainable at home. Don't forget to tune into our next episode, where we'll be giving you expert tips on buying new. So make sure you like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.